Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Junk Drawer Podcast, the podcast for messy thoughts and messy people. I really shouldn't have to say it, but if your room is messy right now, I'm coming for you, and so is my guest. He needs no introduction, 17 Grammys, 45 Emmys. He's on Dancing with the Stars every Tuesday night. It's Worm! Thank you so much for being here. Oh my gosh, I've been a fan since I was like 10 years old.
Yeah, that's what everybody says.
Everybody says that you're on Dancing with the Stars every Tuesday night.
Listen, I don't have that much time here today. I have to learn how to do the chimichanga by tonight or my manager is going to kill me.
I didn't know chimichanga was a dance move.
It is for Worm.
So you just got out of rehab a couple months ago, and I know how hard that must have been for you. Do you feel like you're doing better now?
What are you saying?
I'm only asking if you're healthier and if you're still...
If I still what?
If you still...
You're asking if I still want to eat dirt. Wow. Typical.
I wasn't asking you if you still want to eat dirt. I was asking you, if you feel better. That's all. And I mean, clearly you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing the
chimichanga.
Yeah, that.
I can't believe I have to explain this again, but the dirt they found in my hand purse at the airport wasn't mine.
Wait, so then whose was it?
My friend Taylor's.
Taylor who?
Taylor Swift.
Okay. So let's just switch the subject a little bit. Let me hit a sound on my Rodecaster. So I heard that you just got this gorgeous house, like this huge mansion. Are you okay?
Just give me a second.
Is that?
No.
Is that?
No. No. It's nothing.
So what was it like being on one of the most popular shows of the early 2000s? Me and my friends were like obsessed with Worms of Waverly Place.
What can I say? It was a wild ride. I mean, I've been on the cover of Worm Weekly for the last 15 years. It's definitely a lot to live up to. I've been working with my personal trainer, Mike Hawk. He's a hawk. We have a symbiotic relationship. He teaches me how to work out, and in return, I get to watch him do flagpole stands.
Wow, Mike Hawk? Mike Hawk is your trainer? That's actually... Right. That's clinically insane to be happening to you because, he has trained some of the biggest names out there, like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, The Reaper, the other guy. These are all wrestler names, and I know about wrestling.
Yeah, throughout his career, he's trained a lot of celebrities. He's never trained a celebrity as big as me. So
as big as you?
Yeah. I mean, as popular.
Physically?
No, not physically. Obviously not. Obviously not physically. I'm a worm. Gosh. Why does everyone have to talk about how small I am all the time? Keep reminding me that you could just squish me in an instant. Anyway.
I'm so sorry. That was... You know what? That was low-hanging fruit. That was rude of me. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I get a lot. A lot of people call me Wormy. They call me Little Worm. They call me little tiny little worm guy. They call me names like little freaking squirming wiggly wriggly worm guy, and I just get sick of it. But I mean, I understand. Being a worm that can talk, it's kind of a lot for some people, and I mean, no one likes change, and it's definitely a something hard for people to accept about me. But I'm used to it.
Would you say that you and Mike Hawk are close with each other? Like, do you guys hang out with each other outside of just working out?
Yeah, I mean, well, Mike Hawk, he's like me, he's a true patriot, and he serves his country, and he loves America. I mean, there's nothing more patriotic than, doing a flagpole stand up on right next to the American flag, for all to see for 20 hours straight. I mean, it's really an amazing sight to see, and it's just so patriotic. I mean, this country is the greatest in the world, and I mean, he's just up there being a true patriot for our forefathers. And when people see him up there, they just they think about George Washington and maybe cutting down a cherry tree. They think about Abraham Lincoln and his tragic death. That everyone everyone thinks about how great it is to be here, and how the forefathers shaped our country into what it is now. And when he's up there doing a flagpole stand 20 feet in the air, you just forget that you're even what's happening. I mean, you just don't even want him to come down.
Wow. Well, I hate to bring this up, I really do, but some people do criticize Mike Hawk for doing these flagpole stands, being up on that flagpole for 24 hours, almost a whole day, at least a whole Hawk day.
Yeah.
And he has yet to address the many problematic things about America.
I mean, well, first of all, people criticize things that they can't do. I mean, none of these people criticizing Mike Hawk can, do a flagpole stand and just hang up there right next to the American flag, waving in the sunset like he can for 20 hours straight. I mean, that's impossible for most people. I mean, he's a hawk. He doesn't even have fingers. And he's up there and he's doing a flagpole stand for 20 hours on end. I mean, like, it doesn't really get much more patriotic than that. And I mean, I don't want to get political, but he does it for America. I mean, what else can you ask for? I mean, he truly stands for everything that America, ever stood for. I mean, he's been doing this for generations in his family. This goes way back to, the Civil War. And I mean, he back in the day, his great grandfather wore a blue coat and flagpole standed right next to the American flag. I mean, that's a true patriot, a true hero right there. So, he's keeping the tradition alive, and he stands for everything America needs to stand for.
Hey, well, I guess Mike Hawk is the only person who can really, truly, talk about those things and answer a lot of questions that fans are wondering. Mike Hawk isn't here to address Mike Hawk's problems, so let's not talk about, Mike Hawk, I guess my next question for you would be, would you say that Mike Hawk introduced you to Bend Over?
When we were shooting for Worms of Waverly Place, Bend Over came up to me, and, I was behind him, and Bend Over looked at me and right in the eyes, and he said, I want to make a movie, and I want you to be the starring worm in it. And I just couldn't believe it. I was going to be in this big movie, and then all of a sudden he said, well, actually, it's going to be a show, and Selena Gomez is going to be in it. And, I mean, I was kind of cringe at first that Selena Gomez was going to be in it, but then it ended up being a really hit show, and everyone loved it. So, I mean, here we are today.
Wow. So you had beef with Selena Gomez?
No, I mean, not exactly. I just thought, she kind of overplayed her role a little bit. She really thought that she was a real witch, and like I had to come sometimes like talk to her and say like, hey, this is a show. Like, you're not a real witch, right? Like, we're all like pretending, like this is not real. Like, hello, Selena Gomez, like you're not a real witch. You don't have powers. So. Yeah, it was just kind of annoying, but it's fine.
Wow. That's actually a great segue into the next question I wanted to ask you, which is, why do you think that a lot of wizards didn't actually enjoy Worms of Waverly Place?
Well, the thing is that, I don't really like talking about this too much, but when I received the ability to talk, a wizard actually came to me in a dream. I used to be a normal worm, just like you. I mean, just like any other worm. Basically, the way that I learned how to talk was not learning, but it was actually from a wizard itself. So a wizard came to me in a dream and told me that I myself could become a talking worm if I were to star in a Worms of Waverly Place show and give that wizard the credits at the end of the show, which was the deal. And of course I didn't end up crediting him because he wanted to take the credits for my show. And for what? I did all the work. I was the worm acting in it. I wiggled my way into that show and I basically created it. I was a star of it. I wasn't going to give him the name for it. Bless you. So, I mean, that's all I really have to say about that.
Wow. I cannot believe that, wizard. I mean, have you tried to communicate him? Have you had any sort of communication since that event?
He's tried to find me several times. I mean, he's appeared to me in dreams a couple times, and I actually don't dream anymore. I haven't slept in over 300 days now, and my meditation helps me with that, and my cock too. He's helped me with that. But I actually would rather not talk about the wizard stuff because I don't want to accidentally summon him or anything.
Okay, yeah, that's probably for the best. I don't really want to summon any wizards on this podcast. Those of you loyal listeners out there, you guys know I've had wizards on here before. It hasn't really resulted in anything good so far. So no, it doesn't. I'm still open to having Selena Gomez back, but so far she has not apologized for what happened last time. So
it's understandable. Also, she's not a real wizard, so. So yeah, it's because she didn't apologize, but it's also mostly because she's not a real wizard.
Moving on though, I'm so curious. Growing up in the limelight, growing up as one of the biggest stars on the planet, the biggest worm on the planet. Do you feel like Worms of Waverly Place in a way like stole your childhood from you? Do you feel like you missed out on any normal activities?
Well, I mean, when I was a child, I started out as a small segment from my father, a clone, and I slowly grew my own wriggle, if you would allow me to say, my own wriggle.
Please do.
And I made my own wriggle room, and when I was a child, my father tragically passed away in a freak shrivel incident, and he shriveled up on the sidewalk. It rained really hard the day prior. The sprinklers went off, and he started squirming on the sidewalk. People walked right past him. They didn't even help him, and next thing you know, he shriveled up the next day, and I never saw him again. So it was hard for me growing up without a father figure and being a small segment of my own stature. And
were you able to attend your father's funeral since the wriggling happened?
I mean, what ended up happening was he shriveled up and he died, and that was the end of it. There was no funeral. I mean, I cried for weeks on end, but I mean, someone stepped on him afterwards and he kind of got broken in half because he was just so shriveled up and stiff and dry that he kind of just turned to ash over time. And I mean, I haven't ever seen him since.
Wow. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for you. Like, I'm just happy that at least you had Bend Over there to support you.
Bend Over and my cock have always been there to support me. And, Worms of Waverly Place was really the only place I was able to vent and find a true father figure, which was my cock for me. Now he really is a true father figure to me. And when I see, this big buff hawk just doing a flagpole stand 20 feet in the air, just waving just like the patriotic flag that he is, you know, at heart. It just turns me on so much that I just, like, you know, really want to be just like him.
Wow. Well, I guess my only question about that was, you know, just touching on that last thing you said. Just touching on that last thing you said.
What?
You said that
What? Well,
he turns you on?
well, sorry, no, I didn't mean to say turns me on. What I'm trying to say is that, yes, it turns me on that I see him do a flagpole stand 20 feet in the air. Yes, that turns me on. Doesn't mean that, you know, what's so wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't want to assume your worm's
it
duality.
turns people on in general when they see him doing a flagpole stand 20 feet in the air. I mean, you know,
I've seen him do it. I don't know if I felt that happening down there for me. So I don't know how common it is. It seems like it might just be you.
Well, it doesn't really happen anywhere for me because, you know, being a worm, I can reproduce asexually. I can segment myself. So I mean, for me, being turned on is just really being very you know, being very inspired by something and really wanting to become something else, you know. So for me, being turned on is not innately sexual. It's just, you know, I like I said, I can reproduce asexually, so it's no problem. It's just that, you know, I really strive to be just like my cock and just be as ripped as he is one day. And that's exactly why I'm in training.
So when you're not looking at my cock do the flagpole stand 20 feet in the air, would you say you're turned off?
Well, you know, I will say this is sometimes when he's up there and he is doing the flagpole stand, you know, I mean, like, I would never do this because this would just be so unpatriotic and so, you know, just against everything that America stands for. But sometimes I'd rather just take down the American flag and just watch him up there, you know, just waving in the wind, flagpole standing 20 feet in the air. Just take down the American flag, just leave him up there for hours. Just let me watch him.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. I know that you are married too. So what does your wife think about all this? And what does she think about Worms of Waverly Place?
I'd rather not talk about her.
Why not?
We've been separated for a while now, ever since the segmentation. It just makes me uncomfortable knowing that my other half is still out there, growing new cells without me.
The tabloids are all saying that she left you because of what happened at the airport.
You know what? I'm good. Thanks for having me on, but I'm through with this. My cock is here to pick me up. Don't laugh. Stop that.
Yeah.
Fine. Goodbye, you jerk. You can kiss my wriggly butt.
Wow.